Greetings, kindred. So we have a solar eclipse coming up on the 10th. I'm actually recording this on the 8th. And I did do a video with Howard Contee on the solar and the lunar eclipse we just had. So you can check that out. I'll put a link to that in the description box below. And we're actually talking about it from an astronomical and a geometric perspective, I think, or geometria, I should say. So yeah, if you haven't already listened to that, I would suggest that you do. There's a lot of juicy information in that video we did. I didn't want to go more than 2 weeks without doing an update, and we've got quite a lot of planetary activity going on over the next couple of weeks. So we'll start with this solar eclipse. I mean, the sun and moon are both going to be at 26 degrees, but obviously with a solar eclipse, the sun's energy is very much blocked. Where the lunar eclipse takes us into our shadow, into our darkness, right into the womb, the solar eclipse actually takes us into our intuition. You know, it takes us on a little journey of psychic instinct or telepathic communication or, you know, anything along those lines. And, you know, with the aspects I'm seeing overall, I really do feel a lot of clarity is going to be had on this solar eclipse. I mean, we do have Mercury conjunct at 27 degrees as well, but he's in retrograde. So solar eclipses can take us into a state of like where our heads can be all over the place, you know. It's like we may get a lot of information coming in on a psychic level, but it's really hard to get a grip on it, you know, mentally. And, you know, to hold on to that information. And with Mercury retrograding in Taurus, I feel it's the same kind of scenario. So just expect your head to be a little bit all over the place, where you can't focus, you can't concentrate. You know, I really do feel this solar eclipse is all about us taking a step back and really retreating from the world, you know, and really getting into our own sacredness, our own being. Because we do have a T-square towards the Sun, Moon and Mercury, with Neptune, Pallas and Vesta in opposition. So Neptune is at 1 degree, he's about to go retrograde soon. The goddess Pallas is at 3 degrees, and they're both in Pisces. And then we have Vesta, the goddess Vesta, who's still in Leo, but she's at 27. So I really do feel like, you know, especially with Mercury at 27 degrees as well, like there's this ending and this conclusion to cycles. And I feel these cycles are more based on our commitments or, you know, commitments, contracts, because the goddess Juno is involved, marriage contracts or, you know, but the goddess Juno, although many see her as the marriage partner, the wife, I still feel Juno also, you know, because sometimes we can be married to our work. You know, we can be married to a project. You know, it's whatever we're really, with the goddess Vesta involved, I feel it's what we're really passionate about. You know, what we consider sacred to ourselves, and that can be our health. That can be a project. It can be a relationship. Anything along those lines. So I just feel that this double T-square, and it's not a double, I mean it's a double in the UK because the ascendant is involved as well. But there's 2 T-squares, but they're co-joined. And, you know, the Sun, Moon and Mercury, who's at the head of this solar eclipse, are basically involved in both those T-squares. So, you know, the nodes are involved as well, although they're a little bit further away. So yeah, I just feel there's going to be so much clarity, and I would definitely recommend meditation. And actually, Steve Nobel's done this fantastic meditation, one of his recent ones that I will post in the description box below. And I know I haven't posted any meditation videos for ages. I mean, personally, because I've been on a different path myself, I guess, and I haven't really been meditating with guided meditations, so I've been doing other stuff. But yeah, so I shall post that in the description box below because I feel it's going to be really helpful. Because, you know, the lunar eclipse did take us into our shadow. It did take us into our fears, into our anxieties. But now, you know, this is like the rising of the phoenix. Now, on the 18th of June, Pluto will shift back from 30 degrees to 29 degrees. Now, that's pretty big. Because, you know, Pluto, he moves like 1 degree every couple of months. So when he's in retrograde, I don't think he moves further than 2 degrees. So I feel this will be the time, you know, around about the 18th of June. I feel the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse and what we've taken from that. And there has been a lot of exposure going on in that time. You know, and there has been a lot of clarity that people have reached in that time. So don't doubt yourself, trust your instincts, because the instinct is very, very strong right now. You know, as long as we have the mental capacity to deal with it and face it, whatever it is that's coming up for us. So I feel when Pluto moves back to 29 degrees, it's going to kind of make a jolt. So, you know, whatever's come up around these eclipses on the 18th of June, I just feel things are just going to click into place. Especially since Pluto is going to be at 29 degrees in retrograde, and that adds up to 11. So this is a master number. And, you know, 11 is kind of like the twin flame energy. And I'm not talking about partnerships, I'm talking about the Kundalini, the inner, you know, the inner rising of the masculine and the feminine. You know, and we do have the Black Moon Lilith, though, conjunct the Sun. I mean, the Black Moon Lilith will be at 28 degrees. The Sun will be at 33 degrees, so it's not a close conjunction. But the Black Moon does sit in between Mercury, who's at 23 degrees, and the Sun at 33 degrees. And 33, again, is a master number. But it's a very spiritual number. You know, and that adds up to 6, which is the number of humanity. And the Black Moon Lilith at 28 degrees adds up to the number 10. And the number 10 is actually the Uranus energy. You know, it's all about change and manifestations. You know, but this is on a higher level of consciousness. So, you know, that can be for good or bad, you know, and it can bring changes that are very unexpected. So it's a very shifting energy that is going on here. And the Black Moon Lilith will be involved in that. And, you know, she will be in opposition, or Mercury, the Black Moon, and the Sun will be in opposition to the goddess Juno and the South Node. This is like facing the future. This is like, you know, basically being the change you want to see. So yeah, you know, when Pluto shifts back to 29 degrees on the 18th of June, I think that's really going to be felt. And I really do feel that that's going to be the finale to the lunar and solar eclipses that have just taken place. So then after that, on the 20th of June, we have Jupiter, who's actually transiting Aquarius at the moment, actually going retrograde. So, this is retrograde season, and, Saturn's already in retrograde. I mean, Mercury will come out of retrograde on the 22nd, which is the day after the summer solstice, but Mercury will be in shadow for at least another 2 weeks. So, I would take that into the first, second week of June before I would say we're definitely out of that Mercury retrograde energy. Now, the good thing is on the 20th of June, Jupiter, as he turns retrograde, he's going to be forming this beautiful grand trine with the Sun and the Moon. And the Sun and the Moon are both in earth signs, but Jupiter himself will be in an air sign. So this is earth and air, and Jupiter can expand. So I really do feel there's some positive stuff going on this day. Although you know what I say about grand trines, they can tend to make us lazy. But I think with Jupiter going into retrograde, it's all about inner reflection. And in Aquarius, it's very kind of, again, on that higher consciousness level. And, the one thing with this trine, I'm just feeling a lot of balance with it. So, the Black Moon Lilith will be in conjunction to Mercury. So again, it's a little bit of confusion going on there. And because the Black Moon Lilith, when, she's conjunct Mercury, she does bring in a lot of mental confusion. And, even at the Pluto, the new moon solar eclipse, was it the new moon solar? Let me check that. No, even at the Pluto retrograde, Pluto retrograding back to 29 degrees, with her in the middle of the Sun and Mercury, but not quite in what I would call a tight conjunction, but close enough to still have an effect. So I don't feel our heads will necessarily be all over the place at, on the 18th of June. But definitely, by the 20th of June, again, it could be that scattered like focus. Our minds might be a little bit wandering at this point. But I just feel like it's, again, for the rest of this month of June, I just feel these big major shifts going on. And some of them will be subtle, but some of them will be felt. So, it's really nice to see Jupiter in this beautiful grand trine here, because it just shows me that day is going to be a little bit more positive. And then, of course, we have the summer solstice on the 21st of June. And again, the Black Moon Lilith will still be in conjunction to Mercury, in opposition to the South Node and the goddess Juno. So I do feel when it does come to relationships and commitments, that there's still a lot of processing going on. And I do feel it's like a very up and down energy, because when Pluto shifts back 29 degrees, there's all this clarity, but then Jupiter turns retrograde, we may get a little bit lazy and a little bit more accepting. And then by the summer solstice, we may want to sweep things under the carpet. Yeah, I don't think we should do that. I think we should keep going, because things may seem a little bit brighter, but there's a lot going on with the undercurrents, the underlying energy. There's still things being revealed there. So I would just watch out just for taking things for granted, so to speak. And, it's always good to give forgiveness, but, that saying, once bitten, twice shy, I don't feel we should put barriers up and block things out of our lives, but I do believe that we need to take the lesson from it and move forward with that knowledge, with that wisdom. So, it could be another day. I mean, things can be said off the cuff as well with the Black Moon Lilith in conjunction to Mercury. But, sometimes things do need to be said. Sometimes we need to say things to make that energy shift. Especially for those that are hard of hearing. Or there could be conversations that are very uncomfortable that need to be had. But, it's got to be some kind of closure or a moving forward. Because the only problem with the energies I'm seeing overall is that we can get a little bit stuck in our heads. And that's been going on for a little while now. Maybe if we do need to, delve into things a little bit more on a mental level, then, that's what we must do. But we must keep shifting the energy or releasing that energy so it doesn't turn stagnant, so it doesn't keep us stuck or in repetitive cycles. But T-squares are all about pushing us into wisdom, pushing us into knowledge. And it's very important that we look after ourselves, and get an inner stability. So, Neptune will actually turn retrograde on the 25th of June, and that will be the day before the full moon. So again, I'm seeing this, beautiful fire trine with Ceres and Uranus, who are transiting Aries, with the moon, who will be in Sagittarius, and the goddess Vesta, who will be in Leo. So I just feel like when Neptune goes into retrograde, it will give us an opportunity to, really look into our emotional health, into our spiritual health. And again, maybe it could be changing a diet or changing our activities. But this grand trine is actually part of a kite, and Neptune's at the top of the kite, in sextile to both Uranus and Pluto. So these are very strong planets right at the top of this kite, Pluto, Neptune and Uranus. So again, it's more shifting energy that's going on here. But there's highs and lows with that. And, all it's saying is, we can take things to the max when it comes to our visualizations, when it comes to finding the truth of situations. But we must remember to take time out to concentrate on our own well-being. So there's a lot of activity going on over the next 2 weeks. But just going back to Pluto, when he shifts back to 29 degrees, because I didn't actually give you the aspects. Now in Sagittarius, it's all about truth. It's all about religion, philosophy, abundance, gifts. And Pluto is very nuclear, so he's here to just take things out really and have them replaced with something else. When he transits the star sign, he's doing a complete refurbishment. So he will be in opposition to both Mars and Venus, so this is why I feel it's all connected to relationships. Mars and Venus do also represent the masculine and the feminine energies. He will also be in trine to the moon. So these are for our emotional well-being, these shifts and changes are for emotional well-being. And I really do feel, again, it's like this ascension going on there. Some kind of ascension like the Kundalini, especially since Venus will be in Gemini and Mars will be in Cancer. So this is definitely masculine and feminine energies, although Venus is in a masculine energy and Mars is in a feminine energy. You know, and Pluto at 29 degrees, like I said earlier, adds up to the number 11. So this is all about mastering of the masculine and feminine within ourselves. You know, bringing them both into balance. So, you know, the next couple of weeks going to be very active. People may not be on so much of a social level. They may be wanting to visit the countryside, or, you know, just wanting to have that peace and quiet, because like the head is just a little bit muffled. I know mine has been. I've been getting tinnitus in my ears again as well, and I haven't had that for a couple of years, so I really do feel there's a lot of activity going on around the head. So, kindred, I hope that's been of help to you all. And, sending you all peace and much love.